Okay, so once again, welcome everyone who are joining us through Zoom, Facebook, or some devotees who are present here in person. So today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 18, the conclusion. Okay. So let's invoke the mercy and the blessings of the Lordships and Guru Parampara. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Om Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarini Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavedanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratshe Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vanchah kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, anybody remembers what was chapter 17?
Division of faith.
Divisions of faith.
Of faith.
Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga. The division of faith based on the three modes of material nature. So, what was the acronym we used to understand the flow of chapter 17?
Face.
Face. What does face mean?
Faith.
Authority, charity, and joy of everything.
Okay, Pavani, go one by one. So F is faith.
Faith.
A
is austerities,
austerities.
charity, enjoyer of everything.
Enjoyer of everything. Okay, good. So that was the flow of chapter 17. So in chapter 17, we talked about the factors which affect our behavior. Anybody remembers that? So the factors which affect our behavior.
Nature.
Nurture,
And culture. And choices. And grace.
So actually the first three are the main significant factors which affect our behavior. Nature, right? What is our nature? Based on our nature, that's how the person is going to behave. And then nurture. So nature is not everything. The nurture also matters. The way the person is brought up. Right? What kind of training is given from the childhood. That also affects the behavior. The environment they have seen. Right? If the father is yelling all the time, the child will also grow like that. Right? If the father is a drunkard, the child will also see, and they will also grow up in that mood. So the nurture, how the children are brought up, that also affect their behavior. And then of course culture. What is the culture we are following? That also influence their behavior. If they are brought up in a devotional environment, so they will also imbibe those qualities, those behavior traits. So these affect our behavior. So the factors that affect our behavior. And then lower the mode, right? If somebody is situated in ignorance, lower is their capacity to choose, the kind of choices they make. So these factors affect our behavior. And then in chapter 17 we talked about various things under the influence of three modes. What are all the various things we talked about in chapter 17?
Worship.
So worship in three modes. Okay, puja, yajante. So worship in three modes. And then we talked about food.
Austerities, tapasya,
Food.
charity.
So yes, so food in three modes, right? What kind of food is dear to somebody who's in goodness? What kind of food is dear to somebody who's in passion? What is the kind of food which is dear to somebody who is in ignorance? And then we talked about the yajna in three modes, sacrifice. And then we talked about austerity and penance in three modes. And then we talked about charity in three modes, yajna, dana, tapaha, and the division in three modes. Okay, so now chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita, it's titled as the conclusion. So in nutshell, it's again the summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 2 was also titled as the summary of Bhagavad Gita, the contents of Gita summarized, Gita ka sar. Chapter 18 is also conclusion, the contents of Gita again summarized. So what is the difference in chapter 2 and chapter 18? We already talked about the contents of Gita summarized, or the essence of Bhagavad Gita, the summary in beginning also, chapter 2, and now we are doing in chapter 18 also. You know what is the difference?
One is like a prelude?
One is like the prelude. Okay, good. You are coming close there. So if you have read any book, okay, when we read any book, in the beginning there is index, content, right? So they are listing what are the different contents which are going to be there in the book. So the list of contents, index. And at the end of the book there is a chapter called conclusion, summary. So chapter 2 and chapter 18 are like that. In chapter 2, Krishna is giving all the contents, what are the different contents, what are the different themes which are going to be discussed in Bhagavad Gita. And chapter 18 is now the conclusion, Krishna is going to revise. Okay, it's kind of revision of all the major topics which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. So that's why it's called the conclusion. Okay, it's also called the perfection of renunciation, Moksha Sannyas Yoga. And the acronym which we are going to use is SMILE. Okay, everybody smile. So that is the acronym to discuss this chapter or to understand the flow of this chapter. S means summary of Karma Yoga. It's again going to start with Arjuna's question, and that question keeps coming again and again. Arjuna is asking this question again and again in different words, in different form. What is the difference between Tyag and Sannyas? Okay, what is the difference between Tyag and renunciation? Okay, so Krishna is going to summarize again now the summary of Karma Yoga. So that is the first part of this chapter. Then again, M is modes of nature. Krishna is further going to discuss many different things under the mode of the three modes of nature. Okay, how is the work in three modes? How is the doer in three modes? What is the determination in three modes? What is the happiness in three modes? Okay, so Krishna again going to talk about many things in three modes. So the modes of nature. And then I is the ideal worker. Ideal worker means Krishna is going to talk about Varnashram system. Okay, the Asuri Varnashram and Devi Varnashram. So how ideal worker should act in this material world for the pleasure of the Lord without getting entangled in the result of his activities. So that is ideal worker. And then L is love of God. That is the ultimate goal, to develop the love for God. And then E is the end result. Okay, what is the end result? One attains by hearing Bhagavad Gita, by reading Bhagavad Gita, by giving this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to others. Okay, the end result. So that is the flow of this chapter. Now, as I said, it starts with Arjuna's question. Okay, and we're going to go over that. And then further, Krishna is going to go a little bit more in detail, the 5 factors of action. We have talked about earlier also this concept in chapter 5 of Bhagavad Gita and chapter 13 also, I believe. We talked about 3 doers. Okay, what are the 3 doers?
Jiva
Jeev,
and
Bhagavan.
Jagat. I forgot.
Come on, you are close, you are getting there.
Jagadish.
Jagadish. So just remember with J, okay? All 3 words with J. Jeev, Jagat, Jagadish. So we talked about the 3 doers. Okay, we are not the only doer. So we should not get that pride, that ego, that I am the doer, I did this thing, I achieved this thing. Because we are not the only doer. So here Krishna is going to talk about 5 factors behind any action. Okay, and then as I said, the modes of material nature, Krishna is going to talk about knowledge in 3 modes, actions in 3 modes, the worker in 3 modes, understanding in 3 modes, determination in 3 modes, and then finally happiness in 3 modes. And then finally ideal worker, and then love of God and end result. So it starts with text 1, Arjuna's question. Arjuna uvacha sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichchami veditum tyagasya cha hrishikesha prathak keshi nishudanaha. So Arjuna is addressing Krishna with 2 different names, Rishikesha and Keshi Nishudana. Rishikesha, what is the meaning of Rishikesha?
It's master of senses.
The master of the senses. Yes, Rishikesha. And there's a famous shloka which says Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Right? Rishikena, Rishik means Indriya. So Rishikena, our senses, Rishikesha Sevanam, engaging our senses in the service of the master of senses. Bhakti Ruchyate is called Bhakti. So we are engaging our senses for our enjoyment, for our pleasure, but to engage our senses for the pleasure of the Lord, who is the master of senses. That is called Bhakti. Okay? So Rishikesha means who is the master of the senses. And then Keshi Nishudana. Keshi Nishudana means the killer of Keshi demon. So there is one reference of Keshi demon is the last demon which Krishna killed in Vrindavan before Krishna went to Mathura. That was also Keshi. Okay, the same day when Krishna killed Keshi, same day Akrura came to Vrindavan to take Krishna to Mathura. But this Keshi is reference to another demon. Okay, this one demon had kind of attacked on Brahma, and Lord had killed that demon. Krishna had killed that demon, Keshi. That was also named Keshi. So that is a reference here, Keshi Nishudana, that killer of demon Keshi. So Arjuna is asking Krishna that, O mighty armed one, I wish to understand what is the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. Sannyasasya mahabaho tattvam ichchami veditum. I want to know. I want to know what is the purpose of this sannyas and what is the purpose of tyaga. So do we understand the difference between tyaga and sannyas? So tyaga is called giving up something. And sannyas is also in one sense giving up something. Right? What is the difference between tyag and sannyas?
Sannyas giving up responsibility, everything for the.
Yes means you give up things for the service of Lord, and Tyag is to say giving up.
Okay.
Sannyas means the giving up the desire as well. Tyag is the dry renunciation.
Okay. All right. So let's go back, because this is revision, right? Krishna is also revising the topics which has been discussed in chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 5. So again this question is coming up. So Tyag and Sannyas. What Krishna says, what is the meaning of Tyag? Tyag means you did your work, you gave up the result of your work. Okay? That is called Tyag. Somebody is earning money, they are giving up their money for some other welfare activity. They are giving their money in the service of Krishna. That is called Tyag. So you are doing your work, you are giving up the result of your work. That is Tyag. Sannyas means giving up the work itself. Engaging in the work for Krishna. So you are giving up the work itself for your own enjoyment, for your own fulfillment of desires, but you are engaging in the work for Krishna only. So that is called sannyas. Okay, so Tyag is you are still attached to your work, but you are giving the result of your work. Sannyas means you are giving up the work itself and you are doing only the activities which are for Krishna service. So that is the difference between Tyag and sannyas. So be very clear. Okay. Now, who is a sannyasi? Generally we think somebody who is wearing saffron clothes, right? Who have given up their home, family, everything. That is sannyasi. But what is Krishna's definition of sannyas? It's not just a change of dress. It's not just giving up the family, going to the Himalayas or going to the forest or full-time joining the temple. That is not the meaning of sannyas. Somebody may be living at the family, in the family also, but they have given up all other activity, all other engagement. Let's say somebody worked first 10, 12, 15 years. They collected some money. Now they have put that money in the bank or something and they are just giving up all other engagement and doing the activity for Krishna service only. Okay, engaging in full-time preaching work, serving in the temple, all that. Still living with family. They are also called sannyasi. Somebody may be living at home also with family, but still be a sannyasi. Isn't that amazing definition of sannyas? So that is Krishna's definition of sannyas, that giving up the activity for your own enjoyment, but engaging in the work for the service of the Lord. Okay, so giving up the action itself. So in text 2, Krishna answers, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Kamyanam Karmanam Nyasam Sannyasam Kavayo Vidhu Sarva Karma Phalatyagam Prahustyagam Vichakshanaha. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the giving up of activity that are based on material desires is what the great learned men call renounced order of life. Okay, so clear? So giving up the activity itself which is based on our own material desires. So that is called sannyas. And giving up the result of one's activity is called tyag. Okay? Now, so giving up all the activities. So Krishna said giving up all the activities is called sannyas. But now, very important verse, Krishna tells that there are few activities which are never to be given up. Because ultimately those activities are not based on our material desires. So what are the activities which are never to be given up, even though somebody is in renounced order of life? Even if somebody is brahmachari or sannyasi or vanaprastha, nobody should give up these activities. What are those activities? Yagyadana tapah karma na tyajyam karyameva tat yagyodana tapasyeva pavnani manishinam. 3 activities Krishna is telling which should never be given up. What are these 3? Yagya, Dana, Tapa. Okay, so these activities should never be given up. It's not that, oh, I have taken sannyas, now I have given up everything, so I don't need to do any yajna, I don't need to do any charity, or I don't need to do any austerity, I am just become a sannyasi. So these activities should be done by everybody, no matter in what phase, what ashram, what varna somebody belongs to. Yajna dana tapaha. And what is the yajna recommended for Kali Yuga?
Chanting
Japa
holy
Yogya.
So Japa Yajna, Sankirtan Prayer. So that Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy name, the congregational chanting, or by sitting by yourself and chanting the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the chanting of the holy name, that is yajna. That is also yajna. So yajna, dan, charity. So charity should never be given up. As a grihastha, it's our duty to do charity, and we have talked about this at length last time. So as a grihastha, it's our duty to do charity. And what kind of charity one can do? What kind of charity we can do?
Contributing to the service of the Lord.
Okay, contributing to the service of the Lord. So, anybody here?
Food donation.
Okay, giving the food to the needy person, poor person, hungry people. So we can do charity of our wealth. We can do annadan. We can do jnanadan. Okay, giving the knowledge to others. That is also charity. So sharing this knowledge with others is also a charity. So as a grihastha, yes, we should do the charity of our actual possessions in terms of our wealth for the welfare of others or in the service of the Lord. That is, so in chapter 17 we talked about charity in the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance. And charity should be given only, the best form of charity is to do it in the service of the Lord without any expectation of result. It's not that you go in the temple, put $10 in the hundi and say, my Lord, now give me $1 million. I have given you $10. Or I put 10 coconuts, so now make me Karodpati. So the charity to be done without any expectation of result. And somebody doing charity without even considering the time, place, circumstance, without considering the worthy recipient, that is charity in mode of ignorance. Okay. And even if somebody is a sannyasi, they also need to do charity. What is the charity they can do? Knowledge. You're giving the knowledge to others. In Bhagavatam, we read about Shukdev Goswami. The introduction of Shukdev Goswami is but that he does not stay at anybody's home more than the time for milking the cow. Okay? So he stays as long only it takes to milk the cow, because they go back for some charity, milk, that give me one pot full of milk or ek lota doodh. So if they are milking the cow, so whatever time it takes to milk the cow, to give that one pot of milk, that much time they stay there, not longer than that. And that also, that time they give the knowledge, they share the knowledge. And for 7 days, Parikshit Maharaj sat there, continuously speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. Right? Shukdev Goswami sat for 7 days and spoke. That was his charity of knowledge. So yajna, dan, tapha, austerity. So austerity should never be given up. It's not that now somebody has given up their work, their occupation, and they can become lazy bomb. That okay, I don't have to go to work, so I can get up at 9 o'clock now. So yajna, dan, tapaha, karamna tyajyam karyameva tat. Yajnodana tapasyeva pavanani manishinam. These activities purify even the great souls. Okay, now next text Krishna says all these activities should be performed without attachment or any expectation of result. These should be performed as a matter of duty. That is my final opinion. So that is Krishna's opinion. So these activities Yajna dana tapaha should be performed without any attachment or expectation of results. Prescribed duty should never be renounced. If one gives up his prescribed duty because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So now Krishna is talking about renunciation in 3 modes. Okay? One can give up one's activity also under 3 modes. So giving up one's activity out of illusion. अरे नहीं मुझे ये नहीं करना है, मुझे ये नहीं करना चाहिए. And they are just sitting. Sometimes people think, right, destiny is everything. अगर खाना मिलना होगा तो मिलेगा, और if I want to gain money, if my destiny awards me money, it will come. Why I need to go to work? So let me just sleep all day. So giving up one's activity out of illusion, that is called renunciation in the mode of ignorance. And then giving up activity because it's troublesome, it's a little burden, it's difficult, that type of renunciation is called renunciation in mode of passion. Chodo घर बार चलो हरिद्वार. Being so much troubled by the family environment, or being troubled by the workload, all these various things, if somebody just runs away from his responsibility, being troubled by the responsibility or troubled by relation with others, he gives up and just runs away. That is called renunciation in mode of passion. And then renunciation in mode of goodness is when somebody is free from all material desires and attachments, and he is done with all this material lust and want to engage now, dedicate now in the service of the Lord. So that is the renunciation in mode of goodness. Many times people take this middle route because they are in the influence of passion. They just artificially give up their activity because of the troubles. ये सुबह जल्दी उठ के ऑफिस जाना पड़ता है. It's too much trouble, especially in winter, snow times. Right? So I want to give up. So Krishna says one should never give up one's prescribed activities just because of the trouble. It will come later also in this chapter, and Krishna has spoken about this in the 3rd chapter also. So the intelligent renouncer situated in the mode of goodness neither hates the work nor is attached to the auspicious work, has no doubt about work. And it's not possible for anybody to give up all activities. Is it possible to give up all activities? Why? Where was this discussed earlier in Bhagavad Gita? Anybody remember? That nobody can give up the work altogether. No.
What 5?
Chapter 3. In chapter 3, Krishna had spoken about this, that we cannot even give up the work completely, because even if somebody completely gives up the work, still they have to eat, right? You have to breathe. That also involves action. So nobody completely can give up the activity, can give up the action, and those action also brings in reaction. So nobody, it's not possible for a living entity to give up all activities, but somebody who renounces the action, the result of one's action, he is truly renounced. So what is more important between tyag and renunciation, or sannyas, sorry. What is more important between tyag and sannyas? Tyag. Okay, so without having the sense of tyag, nobody can become a sannyasi also. So between tyag and sannyas, tyag is more important. Because we cannot give up all the activities. You will end up engaging in some activity. So Krishna is saying somebody who renounces the fruits of one's action, he is more intelligent and he is truly renounced. Otherwise, somebody may be artificially renounced. They give up their family, they go to the forest, they make a kutia. Now they start claiming this is my kutia. And there are some plants all around the ashram. This is my property. This lake, it belongs to me. Nobody else can come and drink the water here. So they may get attached to that. They may start considering it's their property. So the real renunciation is when somebody gives up this proprietorship mentality, when one gives up the attachment to the result. Okay, that is real renunciation, tyaga. And tyaga is more important. For one who is not renounced, basically somebody who does not have this sense of renunciation, the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable and mixed, they continue to occur. Right? Somebody will continue to develop those karmic reaction. If somebody is not having that sense of renunciation, that tyaga, they will continue to occur the result of their activities. Good karma or bad karma. So what are the three types of karma? Vikarma, sakarma, akarma. Okay. So vikarma, sakarma and akarma. Both vikarma and sakarma, they bring some reaction. Vikarma means bad activity. The activity performed without following any rules and regulation for one's own enjoyment, that is called vikarma. So somebody want to enjoy, they want to do anything and everything without considering any religious injunctions, the scriptural injunctions. That is vikarma. किसी को लूट लिया, किसी को काट दिया, किसी को छीन लिया, eating non-veg, मांसाहार करना, जुआ खेलना, illicit relations, all these kind of activities somebody is doing for their own enjoyment without considering any scriptural injunctions, any rule and regulation, that is called vikarma, which is going to bring bad result. And then sakarma, doing good activity, again for one's own enjoyment, but by following the rules and regulation. So now at least they are being religious people. Okay? They go to temple, they do some rituals, some puja, they follow the rules of the scripture, but tendency is my enjoyment. I am doing this so that I can get some result for my enjoyment. So that is called sakarma. And what is akarma?
No karma.
Akarma is not that we do not do any action. That is not akarma. Akarma means doing the activity in such a way it does not bring reaction. So what kind of activity is that which does not bring reaction? Working for Krishna. Okay, so when we do any activity for Krishna's pleasure, not for our pleasure, Krishna's pleasure, that activity is called akarma. That activity does not bring reaction. So here Krishna is saying, otherwise whatever somebody is performing any action, if they do not have that sense of renunciation, that tyag, giving up the result of one's action, so they will be occurring the reaction of their work, either good or bad. And they will continue to suffer or enjoy. Very good action will bring good result, bad action will bring bad result. So either they will enjoy or suffer, they will continue. Now, the question comes, since any activity performed in this world will have some reaction, so how is that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reaction of one's work? So we already talked about principle of akarma, right? If somebody is doing vikarma or sakarma, they are bringing the result. They are enjoying or suffering the result. But the person who is acting for Krishna's enjoyment, for Krishna's satisfaction, who is doing activity in Krishna consciousness, they do not have to suffer or enjoy the reaction of their work. Why?
Because we are working for Krishna and Krishna destroys all the karma.
Okay, so because we are working for Krishna's service, Krishna's enjoyment, and Krishna will take away all the reaction. He will remove all the reaction. So that is where now the topic comes, the 5 factors behind action. Okay, Krishna is again summarized, because if somebody is understanding this principle that I am not the doer, I am just one instrument. Nothing can happen without the sanction of the Lord. Then the person is acting for pleasure of Krishna. So as I said in the beginning, we have talked about primarily 3 doers, Jiva, Jagat, Jagadish. The living entity, he is the immediate cause. Jagat is the remote cause, and Jagadish is, the Jagat is the instrumental cause, and Jagadish is the remote cause. Immediate cause, instrumental cause, remote cause. Okay? So here now Krishna talks about the 5 factors. Again, these 3 are now further expanded into 5. So text 14, Krishna says, Adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prathak vidham vividhascha prathak cheshta devam chevatra panchamam. So Adhishthanam means the place of action. Place of action is this body. Okay, so this body is the place of action. So Adhishthanam tatha karta, and the doer means the living entity, the soul who is residing within this body. So the place of the action, the doer, karta, the living entity, and karanam. Karanam means the instrument. Instrument by which the activity is done, the action is done. So what is the instrument in this body? The 5 senses. Okay, so the senses are the instrument. And then the various kinds of endeavor. Prathak cheshta. So the various kind of endeavor performed by utilizing these senses. And then the 5th one, the most important, is Devam. Dev. He is the Supreme Lord. So these are the 5 factors of action. So somebody who understands this, there are 5 factors of action. Whatever right or wrong action is performed by body, by mind, by our words. Because action can be performed through body. The actual action, vacha mansa karmana. Right, the way we say the vacha mansa karmana. Vacha means by speaking. That is also action. Thinking, that is also action. And actually doing the activity. So the action performed by body, by mind, by speech. Whatever activities we are performing, either wrong or right, good or bad, it is caused by these 5 factors. Because the living entity desires, and the Lord sitting in the heart, He is updrashta anumantacha. He is witness and the sanctioner. So He is sanctioning. Based on our desire, He sanctions. Based on our previous karmic bank balance, do we deserve or not? So He will sanction accordingly. Okay? You desire to get up and go and drink water. That also is by the sanction of the Lord. If the Lord sanctions, then only you can get up and go up to there and drink water. If the Lord does not sanction, you cannot even get up from here. Right? If the Lord does not sanction, you cannot move even one finger. So the living entity desires, the Lord sanctions, and then there is the instrument in between. What is the instrument? So this body, the senses, and based on that we perform various endeavors. So again, ultimately these are the 3 things, the Jiva, Jagat and Jagadish. Now they are classified into 5 things here. The body, the living entity, the senses, the endeavor, and the Supreme Lord. Okay, so these are the 5 factors. So the right work is done in terms of the prescribed direction of the scripture. So good work is doing activities by following the regulations of the scriptures. Bad activity is doing the activity without following the direction of scriptures. But whatever is done, it requires these 5 factors for its complete performance. So therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. So Krishna had spoken in 3rd chapter also towards the end, which Krishna says, Ahankar vimudhatma karta aham iti manyate. Okay? What is the meaning? Ahankara vimudhatma. The foolish person, because of his ego, ahankar, he thinks himself to be the doer, which is actually being performed based on the 3 modes of material nature. Okay? So one should understand that I am not the doer. Ultimately the work is happening by the sanction of the Lord. So without him the work cannot be performed, and he is providing me the instrument also. So now moving forward, so we discussed so far the summary of Karma Yoga. Okay, that is the first section, S. Now we are moving into M, the modes of material nature. Further now Krishna is going to define various things in the 3 modes. So Jnanam Karma cha Karta cha Trideva Gun Vedata Prochyate Guna Sankhyane Yatha Vrachanu Tanyapi. According to the 3 different modes of material nature, there are 3 kinds of knowledge, 3 kinds of action, and 3 kinds of the performers of action. Okay, so now hear from me. So, what are the things Krishna is going to define? The knowledge in 3 modes, action in 3 modes, and the worker in 3 modes. Okay, somebody who is performing the activity. So, let's go one by one. Now, knowledge in 3 modes. Can you divide knowledge in 3 modes? What could be the categories?
Good, bad.
Good, bad, okay, good knowledge, bad knowledge. What do we consider good knowledge?
Knowledge of the Absolute.
Knowledge of the Absolute. Okay, good job. So, the knowledge by which we see that in everybody, okay, there is same Supreme Lord is situated in everybody, and all the living entities, there's the spark of the Supreme Lord. That is the knowledge in goodness. Okay, so by which you know everybody is, there is Supreme Lord situated in everybody's heart, and everybody, every living entity is part and parcel of the Lord. So everybody, all the living entities, they are same, even though they are divided into these innumerable forms. Okay? Externally we see different shapes and forms, but ultimately in everybody there is the same spark, okay, soul, and in everybody there is the Supreme Soul, the Super Soul is also there. So somebody who understands this, that knowledge is in the mode of goodness. Okay? And the knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, that is the knowledge in the mode of passion. So who considers everybody to be different? ये मोटा है, ये पतला है, ये लंबा है, ये नाटा है. Okay, this person is rich, this is poor, this is that, this is that. He is American, he is Indian. So who classifies all these different living entities as different based on their different bodies? That is in passion. And what is ignorance? Knowledge in ignorance. So the knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as that all in all, without the knowledge of the truth. So who has no knowledge of the Supreme, who has no knowledge of the soul, who is just working for self-enjoyment, which is without any knowledge of the truth, which is very meager. That is, Prabhupada is writing here, the knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without the knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be the mode of darkness. So basically, all this knowledge or whatever education system we have these days, we can classify that the knowledge in ignorance. Okay? Big scientists, professors will come and meet Srila Prabhupada when Prabhupada was in America. So many big scholars, scientists, professors will come and meet, and they will have so many different discussions. And Prabhupada asked once, in this big universities, is there any department to teach about soul? Okay, to talk about the knowledge of soul. Because without the knowledge of soul, we think we are the composition of chemicals. Right? This is all chemical composition. There is nothing else. That is ignorance. We are making big skyscraper buildings, big industries. To solve one problem, we are creating hundreds of more problems. So that is the knowledge in ignorance. On the name of knowledge, on the name of education, we are trained to be just how to make money, okay, how to earn money. So all this knowledge actually is not really knowledge, it's just information for living in this world. Okay, how to live in this world, how to make money and just sustain in this world. So this is just information. Without any transformation. That is the knowledge in ignorance. Even though somebody may be PhD, double PhD, Masters, MBA, but if they do not have the knowledge of the soul, they do not have the knowledge about what happens after death, it's all knowledge in ignorance. Okay? So somebody suited, booted, nice suit and tie and all does not mean a gentleman. In this world, that is our definition of gentleman. Right? This person, this guy looks a gentleman. Because why? He is very nice, suited, booted. But who is really a gentleman? Somebody who knows Shastra, who knows our real identity, and who is behaving properly at that level, at that principle. That is a gentleman. So knowledge in three modes. So we are clear, knowledge in three modes. Now action in three modes. Okay, so action in three modes. We can now understand, or we can try to maybe introspect ourselves and see where we stand. Okay? That is the purpose, right? We have to introspect. Where am I right now? Am I in goodness, passion, or ignorance? So action in three modes. Actions which is regulated, which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, without the desire for fruitive result, is said to be action in the mode of goodness. First, it is regulated. Okay? Where did Krishna spoke about this regulation earlier? In which chapter? Who remembers?
Chapter 6.
Chapter 6. Good. In chapter 6, Krishna said,
Yukta ahara viharasya.
Yukta ahara viharasya, yukta swapna bodhasya. So these activities need to be regulated. What are the activities? Work, recreation, sleep, eating. Okay, so these activities need to be regulated. So one should be regulated in his sleeping, one should be regulated in his eating, one should be regulated in his activities of entertainment, and one should be regulated in his activities in general, which is kind of our occupation. So our occupational activities. So these should be regulated. So what does the regulation mean? It's not that we are sitting and just watching TV all day. It's unregulated. Right? Not that it's a holiday, Sunday, so I will sleep till noon. So I can sleep any time of the day, or I can eat any time of the day. So one should be regulated in these activities. So the action which is regulated, now which is performed without attachment. Thinking that yes, I am just the instrument. Ultimately Krishna, he is the sanctioner. I am just an instrument in the hand of the Lord. Without getting attached to the result of his activity. I am doing this action as a matter of duty, without attachment to the action or to the result of the action. Okay, so whatever the result comes, either good result or bad result, accept it. That is in the mode of goodness. So action in mode of goodness. How many of us here are in goodness in terms of our actions? Anybody? So at least you know now, right, what is action in goodness. And we should strive to go towards that. Now action in mode of passion. What is action in mode of passion? So basically we have talked about generally people in goodness, passion, ignorance. So same way action, in one sense it's same thing. The action performed with great effort for seeking to gratify one's desires. Okay? And acted as a sense of false ego. That is action in mode of passion. And the person who is performing such action is the performer in mode of passion. So what is action in mode of passion? Lot of endeavor. A great effort with the desire to gain the result. So that type of action is in the mode of passion. Any example you can give?
Working for promotions. Working for promotions.
Working for promotions, right? Working hard day and night. Licking up to the boss because I want promotion. Okay, so being a yes man. He tells you come 6 o'clock in the morning. You need to finish this project. Yes sir, I will be there. Today you need to stay till 9 o'clock if you want promotion. Yes sir, I will do this. Okay, so somebody who is putting so much effort to gratify one's desires, that is the action in mode of passion. And action in mode of ignorance. So goodness and passion, we can understand action without any desires to enjoy, passion with the desire to enjoy, and action in ignorance is
Laziness.
okay, laziness. Basically we already discussed about vikarma, sakarma and akarma. Okay, so that is what pretty much in nutshell action in goodness, passion and ignorance is. So in goodness is akarma, passion is sakarma, ignorance is vikarma. Okay, so again Krishna is giving summary. So action in 3 modes. So ignorance is vikarma. What is vikarma? Which is performed in illusion by disregarding the injunctions of scriptures, without any concern of the bondage, and by committing violence towards others, causing distress to others, right? Harming others, killing other animals or other people, other living entity. So that is action in ignorance. So again you can say as a summary here, Krishna is giving action in 3 modes. Akarma is in the category of goodness. Actually akarma will go even to Shuddha Sattva, okay, beyond goodness. And sakarma is passion, okay, putting so much effort because I want to enjoy. And then ignorance is harming others without considering any rules and regulation, injunctions of the scriptures. Okay, now performer in 3 modes. So performer is also easy to understand in 3 modes. Okay? Because we already talked about people in goodness, passion and ignorance. So performer in goodness is somebody who is free from false ego. Okay? Who is having good determination and enthusiasm to do his activity, but without considering failure or success. He is doing his activity with a sense of duty. Okay? It's not that because I'm not concerned about the result, so whatever happens, happens. Why I should need to be determined or enthusiastic to do that activity. So he is doing his activity with enthusiasm, with determination, free from ego, without any desire for enjoyment. Okay, so that type of worker is in the mode of goodness. Mode of passion, somebody who is too attached to the result, who is doing the activity for his own enjoyment. Okay, he may be greedy, he may be envious of others. That is mode of passion. And activity or worker in mode of ignorance is somebody who is against, engaging in the work against the injunctions of scriptures. Okay, he is harming others, he is obstinate, he is cheating, expert in insulting others. He is lazy, he is procrastinating. That type of person is in ignorance. So we are going quick about this because kind of same repetition, right? It's just Krishna is clarifying again and again through different ways. Now, let's come to... So we talked about knowledge in 3 modes, action in 3 modes, and the worker in 3 modes. So now, what is the difference in knowledge and understanding? Anybody can define what is the difference between knowledge and understanding?
Knowledge is just knowing the fact, or
Okay.
like just knowing it theoretically or something, but understanding is realizing it from within.
Okay. Understanding is realizing it in different ways. Yes. So difference between knowledge and understanding. See, 100 people are sitting in class. Speaker is speaking. Speaker is giving knowledge. He is speaking from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. So he is sharing the knowledge. 100 people are sitting in the class. But do you think everybody will understand same thing?
No.
Okay? People may listen same thing, same knowledge. Everybody is listening to the same knowledge, or they may read the same thing from the book, but they may understand different things. Right? Sometimes people hear the class and then they will say, Prabhuji, very nice class today. And you ask them, okay, so tell me some summary points. And they will say, Prabhuji, you said this thing in the class. And the speaker has not even said that thing. Okay? They are just coming up with their own words based on their understanding, they are explaining. The speaker has not even explained. They will completely twist the meaning. So, the knowledge is one thing, somebody who is giving the knowledge, but what we are receiving, what is our understanding? That is 2 different things. So that's why now Krishna says that okay, now I will tell you understanding in 3 modes. I already spoke about knowledge in 3 modes. Now I will tell you understanding in 3 modes. Because different people will understand differently. So understanding in 3 modes. Krishna says that understanding by which one knows what to be done and what not to be done. What is to be feared and what is not to be feared. What is binding and what is liberating. That understanding is in mode of goodness. Okay? So you have read Shastra, you have read Bhagavad Gita. After reading Bhagavad Gita, now you have understood what to be done, what not to be done. So then that understanding which is not binding, which is liberating, which is making you free from the fear, that understanding is in mode of goodness. So then basically the knowledge in goodness and understanding in goodness are aligning. Right? That what is being spoken, you have understood the same thing. You have understood exactly in that way, as it is. That understanding is in mode of goodness. Now, understanding in mode of passion. You have read Bhagavad Gita, but still you are not able to differentiate what is dharma, what is adharma. Okay, what is religion, what is irreligion. What action to be done, what action is not to be done. That understanding is in mode of passion. Okay, still somebody is doubtful what to be done, what not to be done. Krishna spoke about the foods in 3 modes. Still we don't know what is food in goodness, what is food in passion. What should I eat, what should I not eat. That is still we are in passion. That understanding is in passion. And what is understanding in ignorance? Understanding in ignorance is completely twisted meaning. Considering religion to be irreligion and irreligion to be religion. Okay, completely twisted understanding, twisted meaning. That is understanding in the mode of ignorance. So basically people who are with the wrong understanding, they try to harm others. They try to cause so much havoc in the society. They are always going in the wrong direction only. So that is understanding in the mode of ignorance. Now let's come to the 2 main very important points here. Determination in 3 modes. We hear the word determination. You need to be determined. Okay, so what is the determination in 3 modes? Goodness, passion and ignorance. We hear so many pep talks, motivating talks. For how long the effect remains? How long? Sometime 1 day, 2 days, maybe sometime a week. So then again that determination goes away. Right? That inspiration goes away. And we need to be reminded again and again. So that's why Krishna is telling. So same thing we talk about chanting. Okay. So Saturday we hear class, Sunday maybe in the temple we hear class. So we get inspired. We get enthusiastic. That okay, tomorrow onwards I'm going to do this. Again 1 day, 2 days, 3 days somebody does, and again slowly that enthusiasm and determination fades away. You get determined, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up 5 o'clock and do chanting. 1 day, 2 days you do it again. Let me sleep a little bit more today. So Krishna is speaking about determination in 3 modes. Okay, so we can see what is our determination. Are we in ignorance, passion or goodness? I think most of you already know where the determination stands. So what is Krishna telling here? Determination. That determination which is unbreakable, which is sustained with steadfastness, and which thus controls the activities of the mind, life and senses. That is the determination in mode of goodness, okay, which is unbreakable. So you have taken a vow, I'm going to chant every day in the morning, and you are following that vow. Every day you are getting up. So that is the determination in mode of goodness. Unbreakable. Now the determination by which one holds fast to the fruitive results in religion, economic development and sense gratification is the mode of passion. So the determination is, as long as I am getting the result, I am very determined. But if I don't get the result, then I give up that activity. So people take up to this process. Okay, so generally question asked is, what is in it for me? इसमें मेरे लिए क्या है? मुझे इसमें क्या फायदा है? So as long as you are seeing some result coming, then you will do it. Otherwise, forget it. I don't want to do this. Then jump to something else. We start chanting, and generally when people come in bhakti, they start thinking now all my problems will suddenly disappear. Okay? As if it's some magic. Coming in bhakti means some magic is going to happen, somebody is going to wave the magic wand over my head and all my problems will vanish. But if still some problem comes, I think, oh, what is the use of this? Why am I chanting? Let me go to something else. Today I am going to this devata, tomorrow I will go to that devata. He is not fulfilling my desires, so I will go somewhere else. Okay, so the determination by which is inspired because of the economic development, sense gratification, that sort of determination is in mode of passion. In our childhood in schools, in some schools, there is a scout system. Right? What is a scout thing? What do they do? So sometimes they have some handkerchief and they tie a knot. Right? Let's say there are 3 knots tied. So when you do one good activity, you unknot one. When you do second, you unknot 2. So basically they are taking a vow that I need to do at least 3 good tasks, helping somebody or doing something like that. And when I'm done that, then I will unknot this. Right? So same way that determination which is unbreakable, which is done without any desire of one's own enjoyment, that determination is in goodness. But the determination which is inspired by because of some gain, as long as gain is coming, I am doing this, otherwise you are on your path, I am on my path. Tum apne raste, main apne raste. So that determination is in passion. And determination in ignorance. What is the determination in ignorance? Let's see who knows. Determination in ignorance. Basically there is no determination. Right? In ignorance there is no determination, it's simply daydreaming. It does not go beyond the dreaming stage. Somebody is making plans, sitting here. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. Tomorrow I'm going to do that. Tomorrow I'm going to do this, that. So it's just dreaming, no action. It does not even get to the action stage. It's just thinking, planning, dreaming, but no action. So that is the determination in ignorance. Basically there is no determination. So where are we? Where are we? For how long have we hearing Bhagavad Gita? Sometimes we are in the process for years and years. We are in the process of Krishna consciousness for so many years. Still, we are not giving up our conditioning. Somebody here who has been practicing for at least 5 years? Raise your hands. Practicing for 5 years at least? You are not 5 years? No? Are you sure? Okay. 3 years?
Yes.
So how many of you have read Bhagavad Gita in full Bhagavad Gita? Since whenever you are in the process, 3 years, 5 years, how many of you have read Bhagavad Gita at least once completely? No? Why? Because we are not understanding the importance. Right? We think somehow I have got connected with the Bhagavad Gita, I have got connected with the process, but still we are not understanding the importance. So what kind of determination is that? We know I need to read this, we know I need to do chanting, we know I need to do service, but we are not getting to the stage of action. So it's in the planning phase only. In your office also, you may have some deadlines. When you are given a project, new project, in the beginning stage, that is project planning. Right? So you do all the planning, dividing the project into smaller tasks, setting up the deadlines for the smaller task, for the final deadline. But if somebody is going through planning, assigning resources and shuffling and reassigning resources, but it does not get into actual implementation phase, will the project get completed? So project management means planning and implementation, not just planning. So in our spiritual life also we make a lot of plans. Yes, next 6 months Bhagavad Gita will be done. Next 6 months I will memorize 50 shlokas. We think too much, but we don't do it. So what kind of determination is that? So we need to come to this level of determination which is unshakable, unbreakable, steady. Okay. We don't have to depend on external resources for inspiration. In the beginning stage, yes, we need inspiration from outside. We need somebody to inspire us, somebody to kind of guide us, tell us, keep checking on us. But ultimately, we need to take self-responsibility. We need to come to a stage where we are inspired from within. Then you are mature in that process. But if you are always dependent on somebody to check on you, somebody to ask you, Prabhuji, did you do your chanting? Mataji, are you doing chanting regularly? Now you think, oh, Prabhuji was asking me yesterday, so I should do it. So again you do it for a few days, again you go down. Again after 1 month somebody asks you, Prabhuji, are you doing chanting regularly? Then you again think, oh no, I need to do it. So that is not determination. Okay, so determination in 3 modes. And if you learn this principle of determination, it will be helpful to you in all aspects of life. In your professional life, in your spiritual life. You need to take responsibility of your own actions. And Bhagavad Gita is teaching us to take responsibility. Responsibility of our actions. Making ethical choices. Okay, now let's talk about happiness in 3 modes. Okay, everybody want to be happy? That is from where we start our 7-session series. The search for happiness. Everybody want to be happy. But we are looking for happiness in different places. Everybody want to be happy, but their approach for happiness is different. Right? Somebody may be seeking happiness in going to casinos, pubs. Somebody is seeking happiness in doing potlucks with friends. Somebody is seeking happiness in just going for some tourist places. So everybody is seeking happiness, and somebody seek happiness by serving others, by helping others. So everybody is looking for happiness, but we are looking for happiness maybe in different ways. So Krishna speaks about happiness in 3 modes. Happiness and goodness. What is happiness and goodness? It says, which may be in the beginning like poison, but in the end it is like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization. That is the happiness in mode of goodness. Okay, you are told to do certain things. It seems to be very difficult. You are not interested in that. In the beginning it feels like poison, but in the end it is nectar. It awakens to self-realization. Any example?
Chanting 16 rounds.
Chanting 16 rounds. So you are told, forget about 16 rounds, even 1 round, 2 round in the beginning. Right? You are told. What was that?
Pot washing.
Pot washing. Okay. So everybody is giving their own specializations. So let's say chanting. You are told, please chant. Chant the holy name. In the beginning, you take the mala. You are chanting. There is no taste. There is no interest, and you are doing it forcibly, right? As if drinking poison. So in the beginning, it appears like poison, but in the end, it is nectar because it frees you from all bondage. It awakens you to self-realization. And as one continue to do that, one start to develop that taste. Experience that taste. So the happiness which is like poison in the beginning but nectar in the end, that is happiness in the mode of goodness. So even like serving others, yes, externally it is very difficult to serve others, to please others, to satisfy others. It's very difficult. But ultimately it gives great sense of satisfaction. Right? So that is happiness in the mode of goodness. Happiness in the mode of passion, which is poison in the beginning and poison at the end, which is derived from the contact of senses with the object of senses. That is the happiness in mode of passion. Okay, so whatever sense enjoyment one is doing, trying to gratify their senses, that is the happiness in the mode of passion. In the beginning, also it is poison, but somebody may think it is nectar. But ultimately this is poison in the beginning, poison at the end. Poison in the beginning is because somebody is struggling too hard. Right? So it's poison in the beginning. And at the end also it's poison only. Because it is causing that person in bondage. Manushya janma paya, Radha Krishna nahi bhajya, janya sunya vish khaya. So after getting the human form of life, if somebody does not worship Radha and Krishna, knowingly they are consuming poison. So whatever activities they are doing, it is poison only. So all the endeavors somebody is doing to become happy in this world, it is just poison. Because it is keeping the person bound in this material world. No matter even if they are doing good karma only, but that is also binding. And the good karma does not last forever. The good karma is also going to exhaust. Again one will come down and again engage in other activities. And right now we have got this human form. Right now we have got the association of devotees. So your next birth as human is guaranteed. Okay, so one does not have to fall down to the animal species, lower species. At least the human life is guaranteed. But one should not take it for granted. That okay, my next life as human is guaranteed, so I will think about bhakti next time. Because even though you may get the next life also as human being, but what is the guarantee you will get the association of devotees? Now that opportunity is given to you. So we need to utilize that, we need to take advantage of that. So happiness in the mode of passion, which is just for one's own sense enjoyment, working hard. And then happiness in the mode of ignorance, which is blind to self-realization. It is delusion from the beginning, arises from the sleep, laziness, intoxication, illusion. That is said to be happiness in the mode of ignorance. Somebody is drunk and just sleeping all day. Again gets up, drinks and again sleeps. Okay? That is happiness in the mode of ignorance. It's blind to self-realization. Yes, no doubt everybody wants to be happy, but we do not know where to find that happiness. Nobody is stopping you to become happy. Krishna doesn't want you to be miserable. Krishna wants you to be happy. And Krishna is telling you how you can become happy. So we are looking for happiness in wrong places, and Krishna is just shifting our attention. Rather than looking there, look here. Okay? So this happiness in this world is like mirage. What happens in mirage? You have heard about Kasturi Mrug?
Yes.
Okay. What does Kasturi Mrug do? Kasturi Mrug, he had Kasturi in the navel, from where that fragrance is coming. But he doesn't know from where this fragrance is coming, and he is searching for the source of fragrance. He is running here and there everywhere to see from where this fragrance is coming. And ultimately he ends up in a deserted land. There is no water, nothing, and he dies out of thirst. So same way we all are searching for happiness somewhere else. We are running here and there in this material world to find that happiness, and that happiness is within. That happiness within is by self-realization. Who we really are. We are not this body, we are the spirit soul, we are part and parcel of the Lord. Our real happiness lies in serving the Lord. See, real happiness is in service. Not in taking service. But real happiness is in serving others. And especially serving the Supreme Lord. That is where the real happiness is. So, Krishna has spoken about determination in 3 modes, happiness in 3 modes. And now further, Krishna is going to speak about the next topic, which is I, the ideal worker. Okay, that ideal worker, Krishna is going to talk about the concept of varnashram dharma, that how by following one's particular dharma in terms of varna and ashrama, based on one's own psychophysical nature, one can maintain within this world and progress further for self-realization. And it is better to do one's own duty rather than trying to endeavor for somebody else's work. And Krishna had spoken about this in 3rd chapter also. Okay? It's better to do one's own duty rather than perfectly trying to do somebody else's work. It's better to be doing your own responsibility, your own duty, even though with faults, rather than trying to do somebody else's work with perfection. Why? Because if we try to do somebody else's work, we may maybe once, twice, we may do it, but we cannot do it continuously. Because our nature is not like that. If somebody try to become as a teacher and try to take up the work of a teacher, maybe one day you can cram the lecture 1 hour and give a very nice lecture. Second time, maybe again you can, full rectification, you can go and give a lecture. But how long can you do like that? Right? So Krishna is saying, even though you are doing your own duty with faults, better to do one's own duty rather than try to do somebody else's work. So in that way, while trying to do your own work, in that way you will progress. So Krishna speaks about Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They are distinguished by the qualities born by their nature. Where did Krishna speak about this earlier? In Bhagavad Gita? Anybody?
Chapter 3?
Chapter 4. Chapter 4, where Krishna says, I created this division of society based on guna and karma. Chatur varnayam maya srishtam guna karma vibhagashah. So that was in chapter 4. So Krishna says, I created this division of society and in terms of varna and ashrama, not by birth. It's not by birth. It is by guna karma vibhagasha. Based on the nature they has acquired and the work they are performing. Somebody born in the family of a Brahmana is by default not a Brahmana. Like somebody born in the family of a doctor by default is not a doctor. He has to earn the degree, he has to practice, then he will become a doctor. So same way somebody has taken birth in the family of a Brahmana does not mean he has become a Brahmana. He need to develop those qualities of a Brahmana. He need to get trained in that way. Then he can be considered as a Brahmana. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, these are distinguished by the qualities born by their nature. And what are the qualities of the work of a Brahmana? What is the work of a Kshatriya? What is the work of a Shudra? And Vaishya. You want to know? What are the works assigned for the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudra? So the work of a Brahmana, peacefulness, self-controlled, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work. So here, whenever a candidate goes for Brahmanical initiation, okay, second initiation, Diksha, Brahmanical Diksha, they are asked to read this particular verse. Bhagavad Gita chapter 18 text 42. Anybody here who is trying to get to that stage? So I'm giving you the pre-assignment here. Okay, chapter 18 text 42. The qualities of a Brahmana. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom and religiousness. These are the qualities by which Brahmana work. What are the kind of work Brahmana do? Yajan, yajan, patan, patan, dana, pratigraha. So they do yajna, yajan, yajan. So they do yajna, they perform yajnas for others. Patan, patan, they study the scriptures, they teach scriptures to others. Dana, pratigraha, they take charity and they give charity. What is the charity they do? Teaching knowledge to others, giving knowledge to others. So these are the work for a Brahmana. So the school teachers also, let's say the teachers, professors, they come under the category of Brahmana, who are giving knowledge to others. But what kind of knowledge we give, that's another matter which Krishna already spoke. Knowledge, what is the knowledge in the mode of goodness? And what are the qualities of a Kshatriya, or the work assigned to Kshatriya? It says heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, leadership. These are the qualities of a Kshatriya, okay, by which they perform their work. Because Kshatriya is one who gives protection to others. Okay, so that's why heroism. If somebody is attacked, they need to protect others. Earlier the kings, the system of Rajtantra. Now it is Loktantra. Earlier it was Rajtantra. So if somebody is attacking on one kingdom, they have to protect their citizen. They have to protect their kingdom. So showing courage in the battle, heroism, power. So that is by how Kshatriyas rule. And they have to have leadership qualities. How to lead others, how to rule over others. And what are the work assigned to the Vaishyas, business class of people? So farming, cow protection and trading. They are the natural work for the Vaishyas. Okay, so these are the work. Now when Krishna appeared in this planet, Krishna came in the family of Nanda Maharaj, who is a Vaishya. He is having cows, so he is doing farming, he is producing milk, butter, yogurt and trading those things. Okay, all the Brajabasis, the Gopis, Gopas, they go trading these things. So that is Vaishya. So cow protection, farming and trading. So somebody is a shopkeeper, somebody is having a business, that is in the category of Vaishya. So that's why we say Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. It's not like this is in India, or this is a division of society, this is a caste system in India. It's not a caste system, it's a natural division of society. It's there everywhere. In America, do you think there are no Brahmanas? The educators, people who are in education, they are Brahmanas who guide others. Kshatriyas, right? People who rule over, who protect others. That is Kshatriya. Business class people in America, they are not businessmen, right? Who are having stores, big stores and companies. So that is Vaishya. And Shudra, what is Shudra? People say, oh, they are calling us Shudra. What is Shudra? Shudra means somebody who is working for somebody, okay, serving others. He is a Shudra. Somebody who is working for Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, helping them in their work and taking salary. That is called a Shudra. So Shudras are also everywhere. And in Kali Yuga, the 99.9% people are Shudras. Kalau Shudra Sambhava. In Kali Yuga, practically everybody is Shudra. Because we are working for others. So that is the division of society, a natural division of society based on not birth, but by guna and karma. Guna karma vibhagasha. So here Krishna has again summarized that one should work based on one's own occupation. It is better to engage in one's own occupation even though one may perform it imperfectly. than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reaction. Okay? So it's not that my nature, by nature I have a Vaishya nature, business nature, but I try to imitate as a Brahmana. What will I do then? I will introduce business in Brahmanical activities. That is what is happening now, right? All these Brahmanas, they are becoming like business. Okay? First, give us this much money, then we will do that.
Yes.
Brahmanas are not supposed to be like that. But now they are introducing business into those activities also. Why? Because nature is like that. By nature they are Vaishya. So somebody, by nature, if somebody has a nature of stealing, but he becomes a doctor, what will he do? Steal kidney. Right? That is what is happening, right? So doctors stealing the organs. Why? Because the nature is thief, but now they are in that occupation. So that's why the division is by nature. So Krishna is saying, better to do your own occupational duty as per your nature rather than trying to engage in somebody else's work. And Krishna gives example. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just like a fire is covered by smoke. So even though there may be some fault in your work, better you do your own work. See, if somebody's nature is to be a teacher, but somebody becomes a software engineer, what happens? Will he be satisfied? Why we do not have job satisfaction these days? Why people keep jumping from one to another? Because we are doing the work against our nature. These days the work is not chosen as per our nature, but because of money. Okay? जिस occupation में पैसा ज़्यादा है वो करना है. Even though our nature is not like that. That's why people are having so much mental problems, tension, stress, job dissatisfaction. Because we are working against our nature. Woman nature may be, okay, I want to stay home, take care of children, take care of family, take care of home, but forced to work. Okay, go, be a software engineer. Be a project manager. Then there is a disturbance at work also, disturbance at home also. Because we are trying to fight two different natures. So ideal worker is somebody who is acting as per one's own nature without any desire for result or attachment and working for the satisfaction of the Lord. Okay, that is ideal worker. Now the last two sections of this chapter which are left is SMILE. L is love of God and E is end result. We are going to cover those in the next session because it's a long chapter. So we'll cover the remaining section in the next session. Okay, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Let's see if anybody has any discussion points, any questions.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any questions? Yes, Rajapur.
Prabhuji, you told that if I go and bring the water bottle also, like it is a law needs to be sanctioned.
Yes.
How?
How? So, who is giving us the ability to do any work? Even though you have the body, but for the body to function, who is granting that strength?
God.
Krishna is granting that strength.
Prabhuji, what was the question?
Question was, earlier I mentioned during the talk that for doing any activity, Krishna is a sanctioner. Even if I have to get up and pick up the glass of water, for that also Krishna is sanctioning. So that was Raja Prabhu's question. So how sanction is needed for that activity also?
But that can be used by different people differently, right? I mean, like, I heard one
So,
statement, I would say, when I was in West Bengal. They used, like, there was an actor or something, and he used to do some all villain kind of things, right? And then he will say, तुम्हारा कर्म तुम ही करो बा, लोके बोले आमी करो. It's like, ये तो सब भगवान ने मेरे से कहा है, लोग तो मेरे को बदनाम कर रहे हैं. So if God is directing you or giving you a permission, then people will try to hide behind that, right?
So that is a misinterpretation or misutilization of that concept.
Exactly.
So basically, desire, it starts with desire. Okay, it's not that Krishna is giving the desire also, that oh, you should do this. That's why otherwise I can go and slap him and say, Krishna made me slap you. Right? But it starts with the desire. So that's what Krishna is saying. There are 5 factors. So the Karta, that living entity, he desires, and based on the desires, Super Soul sanctions.
Krishna only sanction and witness.
Right. So he is the Updrashta Anumantacha. He is the sanctioner and witness. He is not the desire giver. Activity starts with desire. Do you have the desire to go drink water? And Krishna is sanctioning you the strength to get up and go drink water. Okay? So in that's how every activity there is Super Soul involved. In 10th chapter, when we have spoken about the opulences, Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna says, I am the strength of the strong. Tejas Tejasvinamaham. Yes, somebody is very strong person. Who is giving the strength? Krishna is giving the strength. Somebody is very intelligent. Who is giving intelligence? Krishna is giving the intelligence. So behind everything, Krishna is there. In 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridaya niveshtam mattah smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes forgetfulness, from me comes remembrance, from me comes knowledge. Next question. Anybody online? Yes, Balaprabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thanks for a wonderful class. I was traveling and stuff, but I heard most of it. Focusing on the mode of goodness, what do to be always in the mode of goodness?
What to do to be always in the mode of goodness?
Yeah, if we deviate, how to recognize and come back and stuff like that.
So first understanding what is the mode of goodness mean.
Yeah.
Mode of goodness, basically see the time is also in goodness. There is time also which is in goodness, passion, ignorance, different times of the day. And then based on different activities. So from our end, all the activities which are taking us towards Krishna or which are taking us higher to connecting with nature and then ultimately taking to Krishna, those are in goodness or Shuddha Sattva, Sattva or Shuddha Sattva. But any activity which is directing us for our own enjoyment, that is in passion or ultimately degrading to ignorance. So based on that definition, we can understand whatever activities we are performing, are we in goodness, passion or ignorance? So while sleeping, you are in ignorance. Can you avoid that?
No.
No, right? But you are sleeping with that intention that, okay, let me take rest so I can gain back my energy, so I can again get in service of Krishna. So even that sleeping becomes in goodness. Okay? But not oversleeping.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, anything else? Any question? Okay, if no other questions, we'll end it here. Again, thank you very much for joining. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining.